Are we live?
We're live.
Or is it Memorex? It's live. Hello everyone, this is Rick Berman, your automotive advisor, coming to you once again from beautiful Naples, Florida. So tonight we're doing something a little bit different. We're going live for the first time. And let me introduce you to who's sitting right next to me. This is Nicole. Nicole, say hi to everybody.
Hello.
So Nicole is our neighbor and our friend. And she's also in the market to buy a car now, right?
Yes, I am.
Yeah. So she knows that Laura and I are in the car business. And every time she goes shopping, she tells us her tale of woe. So she knows that we're not the stereotypical car people, and we really want to help her with this. And I want to go live with this because I want to tell everybody what the heck is going on out there. And it's so funny because I just did 3 videos on this, and they're on customer pain points, and you're having a lot of pain, right?
A lot of pain. The dreaded shopping for a car.
Yeah. And what did you just say to me earlier? I wish I was done already.
Yes. I started the process early. I dread it every moment, thinking about it. I wake and think up about it, and I am just so disheartened.
and I feel so bad for you, and I'm sorry. But this is why we're going to put this out there. We're going to tell Sales Hustlers Nation that we are doing a good job trying to change the stigma that's around us. You just haven't ran into any of the sales hustlers yet. So I'm going to ask you, and then you're going to tell us about your experiences with some of the people that you ran into. But I got a couple questions that I want to ask you first, okay? So you are in the market for a car.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And is this your first car?
No, it's not my
How many
first.
cars have you bought?
Many
Can't count.
multiples. Yes,
Perfect. Okay.
absolutely.
So you can buy a car, right?
Always it'll tell my age.
You don't have to do that. But you can buy a car, right?
Yes.
You bought many of them.
Yes.
Everybody, she can buy a car.
Yes.
When she walks in, she can buy a car. So can everybody else. Stop asking them.
Exactly.
Yeah, I hate when they do that. Okay, so it's not your first car. You've owned many cars. What do you have now? What kind of car do you drive now?
I have a Kia,
Which model?
the Cadenza.
Okay, so that's one of their nicer ones. So-
They're all nice, yes.
I think they're all nice too. But it's not a throwaway car. I mean, that's an expensive car.
Yes.
I mean, that's a $30-something thousand car.
Actually more.
More than that. Thank you. See,
You're-
I don't even know. I owned one. My last car was a Cadenza. Okay, so let me ask you this.
Okay.
Homework.
Yes.
You've done your homework.
I've been doing my homework. Like anybody else, searching the internet, going on maybe each car's actual website and then local dealerships in the area because it always varies looking for deals or where the incentives would be.
So there's, the question is, there's a couple reasons why you do that, right? So you're looking for a deal.
Mm-hmm.
You're trying to educate yourself on what's going on.
Yes.
And you don't want to go to the car dealership.
Don't want to go to the car dealership. But I feel as a consumer to be the most prepared, knowing a little bit about what I'm looking for, what options I want or don't need.
Right.
And that way I don't have to waste anyone else's time plus my time, which is very
Right.
valuable.
Time is valuable, right? And you can't see the car. You can see the car online, but you can't touch it.
Correct.
You can't see the equipment.
Correct.
And how do you know how it drives online?
Exactly.
So you have to go to the dealership.
Right. But try to narrow it down a little bit so that,
You're not driving 5 different cars at
Correct.
a dealership. But does everybody out there hear this? They have to go to the dealership. They have to drive the car.
Absolutely. I don't even buy clothes online, so why would I buy a car online?
Right? We said that about a pair of shoes. You have to try it on.
Exactly.
Like, sure. Okay. So have you called any dealerships?
I haven't called any dealerships because when I have found in the past when I call, they always tell me you must come in. You got to come in. They typically don't even tell you what's there, or when they tell me they have something, I get there, they don't even have it.
It's horrible.
Yes.
So already there's a problem with our phone etiquette. Let's say that.
Mm-hmm.
Like the lack thereof. We don't have any phone etiquette. Here's a customer who won't even call the dealership because she knows she's going to have a bad experience. Take notes. We have to learn how to use the phones. Okay. How many dealerships have you gone to so far?
I've gone to about four or five dealerships now.
Okay. So let's talk about that.
Okay.
Let's talk about your experience at the dealership.
Okay.
And everybody who's watching, you know the most important part is when you first walk in, when you first meet somebody, because you only have one chance to make a great first impression, right?
Yeah.
So what happened when you walked into the dealership? Tell me what they said to you.
What brings you here today? Which I know cracks you up.
It cracks me up that somebody would say to you, what brings you in here today? Did you go for the vending machines? Maybe you needed to use the bathroom.
I wanted a snack.
You needed a snack. So you went to the car dealership for a snack.
I actually went to the service department because I know that's where the snacks are.
That's where the snacks are, right? So you've been to a lot of car dealerships, you know. Can you, in this day and age, it's 2018, a customer walks in and you're asking what they're here for? We all know that you're doing your homework online. Mm-hmm. We know why you're doing your homework online. And we know that, like in the old days, when you went to 4, 5, or 6 different dealerships for one car to get your best price, you had to, before the internet. Now you don't have to. Right. You know the prices online. You've looked for the incentive. You look for the price. You know about how much it is.
Correct.
And you know what you want to pay. Mm-hmm. So as long as you're close to that, you buy a car.
Right.
But they're still asking you, what brings you in today?
Right.
It cracks me up that they ask you that. How many dealers did that?
Almost all of them, actually.
So 3 or 4 dealers or 4 or 5 dealers said,
Yep.
what are you here for? Nobody said, hi, welcome to the dealership.
No.
We're so glad you're here.
It was just, what brings you in today? And then it was, hi, I'm so-and-so, or just come to my office and they introduce you.
Right. So, okay, so the first dealership you went to and they said, what brings you here today? Mm-hmm. And you said, you didn't say you were here for the bathroom. You said...
that I was interested in a particular model of car.
Okay. That
I wanted is look at, see, and test drive.
Great. And then did they test drive you in a car?
Now, not the first time I went. I did go back to this dealership twice because I really do like the look of the car. Yeah. But the first time I didn't test drive it because once I got to the desk and we started talking a little bit what I'm looking for in pricing, I was just told automatically, even though it says it on the website, that they don't have anything, there's no way they can make that kind of deal, so I just basically left.
And you were there for, give me the time limit.
5 minutes.
5 minutes.
10 minutes, tops.
So in 5 minutes, a salesperson determined by playing judge and jury that she couldn't buy a car, or he couldn't sell her a car, or she couldn't sell her a car in 5 minutes. Are you kidding me? I'm so sorry.
No, yeah.
I mean, but this is what's happening out there, right? And this is a car you like and a car you want to buy, and they didn't even test drive you in a car. So what they did was they prejudged you and pre-qualified you that you couldn't buy it.
Correct.
And you saw it online, and they said, we can't do that.
Correct.
And you even went back twice.
Went back twice. The second time I went with my husband thinking maybe good cop, bad cop, maybe they wouldn't just see a girl, a woman. So we did go back together because I was insistent that I really like the look of this car. I keep even I hear it advertised on the radio that they're taking $10,000 off of the sticker price. Right. I don't understand why I can't get this car in my price and when they're showing it online, but let alone I want to see at least if it was somewhat close, because if I fell in love with it, I would probably negotiate.
Of course. But they didn't even take the time to show it to you, which baffles me. So you won't go back a third time?
No, but the second time I did test drive it, which was an interesting experience.
Oh, please, do tell. I can't wait.
So,
I'm dying over here.
I wanted a white car. They had the white car, which I said I knew because I saw it online.
What brand is this?
Nissan.
Nissan, okay.
Yeah, and I was looking at the Maxima.
Great.
And of course, I always want to go for the Gusto. I said I wanted the Platinum, which is the top of the line of the Maxima.
Well, your car's the top of the line. The Cadenza has leather and a sunroof and everything.
Correct.
So the Maxima should also. Okay.
Correct.
Let's go on.
And so with that, he says, let's go out to the lot. So it's an enormous lot. And we started walking. And of course, with Florida summer weather, we start to get a few drops. And I'm going, oh, here comes the rain. We finally located the car. And he looks at whatever the tag is. And he says, I'll be right back. You stay here. I'm going to go get the keys. And with that, it starts really raining. So I have now my denim jacket over my head. I believe actually I was texting you guys to say, okay, I'm standing out in a parking lot with it raining with a denim jacket over my head.
I really thought you were joking that he left you out in the rain while he went and got the keys.
No. And then oddly enough, I don't know if he was lost coming back, but he clicked the door several times to unlock it, and it's really coming down. So my husband and I, we got in the car.
Good for you.
I got in the driver's, he did. And then the next thing I know, he started the car.
From afar.
From afar, couldn't even see him.
He remote started the car. Are you guys getting this? Do you hear what she's saying? A salesperson left them out in the lot in the rain, and opened up the car from the dealership
But
and started it from there.
What was even funnier is, no lie, we were sitting there for at least 5 minutes with the car started. And not that I would ever do this, but I said, what would stop any person just from driving off the lot with this car? So we waited for him to come, which he did finally show up, come to the car.
Maybe it stopped raining and then he showed up?
No, it was still raining. And so we did test drive it just down the little street there, which was fine, so I got a feel for it.
So I have a theory about test drives too.
Mm-hmm.
So remember earlier when I said you can't drive it online and you can't feel it and see the options online? I really feel like the only thing that you as a consumer need us, the dealership, for is to test drive the car. You really don't need us for much more than that. The rest of the homework you can do online.
Sure.
So I believe they should take you on the best test drive they can possibly take you on. You going up the little street isn't test driving the car.
No.
Because what he should do, or what I would do, is ask you, what kind of driving do you do? So if you do highway driving, we should go on highway. If you do city driving around town, we should do that. We should do both. You should get a really, really good feel for the car. And he should spend time with you, or she should spend time with you to earn your business.
Correct.
You know, to rush through this, to get you in and out, it's just, it's so short-sighted is what it is. They're not helping you with this car, or the next car, or any of your friends or relatives. You would never tell anybody to go back to this dealership. You're going to tell everybody what you're telling me. They left me out in the rain. They started the car remotely and left us sitting. They left us standing out in the lot in the rain. Then they left us sitting in the car in the rain, and they took us on a 1.5-minute test drive.
Correct.
There isn't any other reason to go back to that dealership unless you like the vending machines.
The vending machines. That's what did it.
Oh my God. Okay, so that's Nissan. So
Yes.
now we went and looked at, what did you go look at next? Volvo you looked at.
I went and looked at a Volvo.
Okay, so what happened to Volvo dealer? They greeted you the same way you said.
Yes. What brings you here today? Was the first thing.
Did you tell them the vending machines?
No, I didn't.
Man.
I didn't say. I was trying not
Next
to be
time.
sarcastic because I
yes, you're
figured
right.
I don't want to start
Sorry.
off a relationship that way.
You're right. That's my fault. That's my fault. I don't know why I would do that. The way I was raised, sarcastically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would be that way eventually, but.
Well, you get treated this way enough and it's going to happen.
Yes.
Okay, so you went to the dealership and he said, what brings you in today? And you said, I'm here to look at a car.
Correct.
And you knew exactly what car you wanted to see here.
Correct, because I went back online again, looked to see the inventory. They had the color I wanted. I looked at all the different tiers of that particular model. Knew I didn't want the really low version because of the horsepower and the engine size and so forth.
Right, you didn't want a 4-cylinder, you wanted a 6-cylinder version.
Correct, I'm from New York, I drive fast.
You and everybody else down here. Good for you.
Exactly.
No problem. Okay.
So she did say, well, let me see what we have in stock. And she says, oh, we have a white one. I said, yes, with amber interior. And she said, yes. And I said, I know, because I saw it online.
So are you hearing this? She's done her homework. She knew exactly the car she wanted. She saw it online. She went in to buy the car. They talked her out of buying the car.
I also went because it says on there what the lease payment was, with the down payment, with the mileage. And so she went and she brought it out front, and she started off by saying, well, now this is the one that's fully loaded. And according to the website, it wasn't the one that was fully loaded because I wanted to keep my lease payment in a certain criteria.
I understand.
And when I questioned her upon that as to, well, when you're saying it's fully loaded, what is this going for? And it was way above what was listed on the website.
So you haven't driven a car yet?
No.
And she told you how much it was before we even figured out what car it was.
Correct, but I did ask her, how much is this particular car?
It's a normal question. You should ask that. You need to know that to buy the car.
Correct. Which
Whether they're supposed to
double the amount.
Yeah. So you saw $375 payment online.
Correct.
And it was the car that she pulled up, right? You knew the interior color, you knew the exterior color, you knew the equipment on it.
Correct.
And she's saying it's not that one. So okay, so maybe it isn't that one. We'll give them the benefit of the doubt.
Correct.
But for her to tell you that the payment is twice as high on this one, and not show you the car first, isn't the way to sell cars.
Which is even funnier though, knowing, because she says it was the only white one, so I knew there wasn't another one like it. And I did start off saying the only thing that was different about what they were advertising, I needed more than 10,000 miles a year.
Okay.
I needed at least 12.
So 2,000 miles a year does not correlate to $300 more a month.
Okay.
Just so you know.
Well, that's good to know because it was way more than the extra 300.
Yeah, for 2,000 miles a year. No,
Correct.
that doesn't work.
Correct.
Okay. So now we're all done?
Basically, because I said to her, so I said, you're telling me this particular car is going to be way over $600, and she told me that it was only going to be 7,500 miles allowed for the lease. She says, yep, that's it. And I said, well, what was advertised? She said, well, that's a stripped down model, which it doesn't say that on the website,
Right.
Because of the stock number and the VIN number, and that it would have 7,500 miles and all that. And I just said, you know what? Forget it. I don't even want to see it. I don't even want to. I test drive it or anything. She said, okay, have a nice day, and she walked away.
So she went.
So I still was standing out there and was still looking at the car, but she went back into the dealership.
And they went the wrong way on the miles. She went the wrong way on the price.
Correct.
And never even tried to show you the car. So is there any reason to go back to that dealership?
No.
Is there any reason to refer anybody to that dealership?
Mm-mm.
You see what I'm getting at here, guys?
Definitely
We're not treating customers right. She really wants to buy a car. And nobody will even try to sell her a car.
No.
Why are we talking price? We haven't driven a car. We haven't picked out a car. And she knows what she wants. I'm just saying that they're doing everything wrong. They're not trying to sell you a car. They're trying to hurry up and get to the sale. I haven't heard you say one time or even lean toward a salesperson caring about you, caring about your needs, or even trying to find out what your wants and needs are. And that's basic salesmanship. 101 is to find out what you want and what you need.
Correct.
And they haven't even done that.
No, not at all.
Or tried to do that.
No.
So was there a good experience anywhere in here?
Yeah, I did go back to the Kia dealership where I initially leased my car.
Right.
Of course, we all looked at the new Stinger version,
Yeah.
and I did get to test drive that, which is very nice.
There you go. Good. Okay, so that's good. They let you drive that car.
We started even talking about payments on that, but really couldn't negotiate to get in the pricing that I needed to be. Again, I told them I was open to another Cadenza or an Optima. They said currently at the moment they were very low on stock. They were expecting a shipment in, which was supposed to be in last Friday, which the cars apparently didn't come in. They called me to say that they didn't come in. I still don't know where my payments would be. I really know how they drive, but they really have gone above and beyond. But the one thing that I think is kind of funny, my husband and I have this thing that as soon as the salesperson goes, well, let me go bring the numbers and measure, we call it the buzzer dance. And that's what happened at this one dealership. The buzzer dance happened literally, for whatever reason, all these guys, everybody went around the manager's desk and they're all,
They're all buzzing.
They're all buzzing, and they came back. And again, nowhere near what I said. It was so far off of where
Hundreds of dollars a month.
Correct.
Not a couple $100 on their price.
No.
A month, every month.
Correct.
That's a problem.
Correct.
So
I'm still
did they go
waiting.
back and forth and back and forth?
They went a couple of times, and then it basically came down to that they, when I said, look, I don't have to have the Stinger, because, and in all fairness, I don't know if it's truly the appropriate car for my needs right now.
Okay.
Although would love to have one. But, and that's when I said, well, here are my options. I'm really open. Open to a couple of different things, and even if it wasn't just a sedan car, even a crossover. So I'm trying to give them options, but my main goal was my mileage, and of course, like everybody else, payment.
Well, of course. I don't see anything wrong with any of that. I mean, this dealer kind of tried, but they were trying on the wrong car.
Right.
So that's a problem too.
And giving them the benefit of the doubt that, okay, maybe they just don't have something to show me right now. I still think they could give me an idea of what the payments would have been at.
They absolutely can.
Yep.
And I appreciate you giving the benefit of the doubt, but it's not necessary.
Yeah.
Because it's just a car.
Yeah.
Right? We make rocket science out of this, and it's just a car.
Yeah.
They have cars, and they can get cars.
Yeah, like call another dealership.
Yeah.
Go a little above and beyond.
They could call another dealership. We could exchange a car from somebody else.
Correct.
And even if they don't have the car there, they can still price it for you and then work on getting it for you.
And just let me know if I'm in the ballpark area, or do I really need to rethink my game plan or where I need to be?
I don't see how you could not be in the ballpark where you are. You already have a very expensive car.
Yeah.
You only have a couple payments left on it.
Right.
I don't see what the problem is, except that we're skipping every single step in the road to a sale.
Right.
I had to say that to them.
And one thing, I am trying to get out of my lease a little earlier because of my mileage. I'm very close to my mileage, and I don't want to pay the cents
mileage
per
penalty,
mile
right.
or over it. So I figured I'd start the process earlier. And the car is in mint condition and not a dent or scratch on it. In fact, it still has the original plastic in the trunk on the thing, and
Oh,
I
how
showed
cool.
the salesperson.
That's great. So I think you're doing the right thing.
Yeah.
Starting early.
I dread it.
I'm sorry. But we see why you dread it.
Yeah.
And we have stats to show us this. Here, let me give you this stat. And this is true. This is from NAD, National Automobile Dealers Association, says that 99% of people who go shopping for a car expect to have a bad experience at the dealership.
Yes.
They expect it. How horrible is that?
I also thought, even during this whole process, which I started several weeks ago, I even left my business card with my name and everything, and I said, look to see if you can work on anything deal or if you come up with any ideas, and I haven't heard from anyone. A call back or
I'm
anything.
embarrassed. I just want to crawl in a corner and hide because nobody's calling you back.
Yeah.
I can't believe that they can't do that.
Yeah.
Sales Hustlers Nation, I'm going to put it out there. Can somebody please help my neighbor buy a car? She wants to buy a car, and she's open to a car. She needs a 4-door sedan. She would take a small, medium-sized SUV,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Because you need a space
Absolutely.
because of your job and your hobbies and the things that you do.
Correct.
And she has a Cadenza right now that's not a cheap car. So she's not telling you that it has to be an exact payment. She's saying, be close to where I want to be at. Treat me right.
Correct.
Care about me, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And I'll work with you. You have to work with me. Don't tell me my payment's $900. Didn't somebody tell you your payment was $900?
It was almost $900.
You're buying a house or a car? I'm not sure.
It was more than my mortgage payment. So, which is definitely not what I can do.
or should do.
Yeah, absolutely.
There isn't any reason
Plus,
for that.
I know when I need to go or when I'm doing this, I start out in the morning because I figure it's going to be at least a 5 or 8 hour ordeal. And that's only at one dealership.
Don't spend 5 or 8 hours ever again at another
Yeah.
dealership. We will help you not to do that. Right?
Okay.
Sales Hustlers Nation, please, let's help her not to spend 5 hours at a dealership. Can't we
a
do all this
picnic.
online? You bring a little...
I bring a little basket.
A little cooler, like an igloo cooler, you bring a basket? Oh my God. Well, you don't have to bring drinks because they have them in the vending machines there.
Yes, I got them in the vending machines. Although I was offered water from one dealership, and
Oh, how nice.
surprisingly, though, it wasn't even cold. It was just literally out of the case and just handed right
my.
to me. So I was like, oh, warm water in Florida. Good.
They're not thinking, right?
Yeah.
They're not thinking about the customer, right?
Sure.
They don't know their customer. They don't know that you're doing your homework, you know what you want.
Mm-hmm.
They don't even think that you can buy a car.
It's funny that when you hear on the radio that they say, I hear all the managers, the owners saying, I need to hit my numbers, sell my cars, I'm ready to make a deal, no offer will be turned down, and I'm not even remotely close. I mean, if it was something that we were talking about, it's only $10, $15, you could say that
Of course.
I'm being unreasonable, but we're talking $300, $400 difference from where I want my payment to be. That's kind of...
They're just not trying. They're not working with you. They're not trying.
Correct.
But somebody out there will sell you a car. You've bought many
Awesome.
cars over the years.
Yes.
You have the ability to buy a car, and you're ready to buy a car.
I have to buy a car.
And you have to buy a car. Right? Your lease is almost up.
Yes.
And you're almost at your mileage. I understand
Yep.
you don't want to pay the payment on it.
Yes.
I'm baffled by what's going on out there still after all these years and all the training and everything that you've been to 4 dealership and they haven't called you back. They haven't tried. One called you back and said that they don't have any cars.
Mm-hmm.
I really don't even know what to say to that.
Yeah.
I mean, there's nothing to say. They have cars. They can get cars.
Yeah.
And you can get a car. So, do you have any questions for me about this?
I'm just going to keep plugging along, and I'm sure I'll be calling you when I'm at the next dealership, and I'm going to tell you that they said, "What brings you here today?"
And I'll just laugh again.
And I will say the vending machines.
That would be great if you did
Okay.
that.
Okay, I will.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hi, what brings you in today? Your vending machines. I'm thirsty. That would be great. And then say, no, I'm just kidding. My neighbor told me to say that because I'm here to buy a car. Why would you ask me that?
Right. Exactly.
Right? It's crazy. Are there any questions or anything on there?
I think Scott Fielding's going to reach out to you.
Yeah, Scott is he's a friend of ours, and he's
Okay.
a general sales manager at a dealership.
Oh, great.
And he's probably dying right now that nobody's called you back and nobody's tried to help you, because he told me a story at his dealership
Oh.
that happened the other day that they had a lead, an internet lead. That's what you are. You're a lead.
Okay.
You called in or you went online and you inquired about something.
Yes.
And that person couldn't get any response. He saw it sitting there and he called the person up and brought them in and sold them a car. You know, because he cared. He found out what they wanted. He found out what they needed. And he
Yes.
fulfilled those wants and needs, and they drove away with a car, and they couldn't be happier.
That's
So
awesome.
that's all it takes.
Yeah.
Is somebody who cares. So
Awesome.
he cares. There's one who's going to reach out.
Yeah.
Anybody else?
Yeah, Jeffrey Lee Parton wants her to come to North Carolina for the weekend. He said he took her up.
Oh, my brother's from North Carolina.
How about that?
And he's at a Nissan
He's at
dealer.
right.
Oh,
Jeffrey's at a
perfect.
Nissan dealer. Thank you, Jeffrey.
Yeah.
Maxima Platinum White.
There you go. And if you can't make it to North Carolina, I'm sure we could arrange for delivery. Or you know what, Lauren, I'll go get the car for you.
Ah, well, I'll be happy to take that road trip.
How about that? All right, Jeffrey, work it out. We're coming to North Carolina, my
We'll
friend.
make a weekend out of it.
We'll make a weekend out of it.
Jared Geip, he says this is Gold Rick.
Thank you.
AJ
Jared, thank you.
Anderson, AJ
AJ.
Anderson.
Thank
Love
you.
your showing how much you care by having this interview. Andrea, I don't even know what to say. She's probably laying on the floor right now. She can't believe any of this.
I can't either. When you tell me bits and pieces of this, I said, don't tell me anymore. We're going to do this live, and we're going to let everybody know what's really going on out there because you're a real customer. You
Yes.
really want to buy a car, and nobody's helping you.
Yeah, I really do. And it's just very frustrating. I think that's what it's frustrating, is daunting. It's just like a dreadful experience, you know. And I don't want to go there with expectations of already feeling frustrated and angered. I'm always a generally happy person.
I know.
And, you know. It's,
All right, so a couple of problems we have here is, one, the advertising, right? Dealers are advertising cars, and they don't have the cars or anything close to it, and they're not even trying to sell you a car.
they're saying, well, that's not the one, or not what I have.
Yeah, that's not the one.
Yeah.
So we have a name for that in the business, right? We call that bait and switch, but they never tried to switch you.
Yeah. I can't even get to, do you want to add the rust proofing or the sun protection, which is what I've always been waiting for.
Right, you're waiting for that to happen.
The rust and dust and the buff and whatever, the extra protection.
And, okay, so here's a customer that's calling you rust. I never said that. I didn't use those terms, right? It's in a glossary in my book, by the way. I have a glossary. Rust and dust is in there.
Yes.
And I didn't use it.
I wasn't
She
even trying to
knows.
negotiate that.
Everything's negotiable.
Yes.
Somebody get close to where she can negotiate rust and dust, please.
So Jonathan Sewell, he says personalize the experience. Absolutely.
Thank you. That's
There's a
great.
thumbs up from Anthony Santangelo on the Nissan, because we all know he loves his Nissan.
He's on his 7th one, or his 8th one. Anthony has, this is his 7th lease
So-
on a Nissan.
I have to tell you, I bought my very first car by myself when I was 18 years old.
Yeah.
Which was a white Nissan 300ZX, of course, a girl from New York, original Snooki. And
Atta girl.
with that, I commuted all over. I was a freelance makeup artist, and I commuted all over. And I had that car, it had 100,000 miles on it with the original clutch, original brakes,
Wow.
in mint condition. Until we went car shopping for my husband, and we were telling the one salesperson, and he went to go look at it. You couldn't believe it had that many miles on it.
Right.
And it was a 5-speed. He turned the ignition but never put his foot on the clutch, and he drove it completely underneath my father's truck
Oh
and
my
totaled the
God.
whole front.
And I was going to say, I bet half the people out here have never even seen a clutch and can't drive a clutch.
Oh, I love it.
I do too.
Yeah.
Right?
Jared said this is why Sales Hustlers was created. Absolutely.
That's correct.
Anthony Santangelo, skipping steps and cheesy pickup lines will never earn you a customer for life. Absolutely, Anthony.
Anthony, it hasn't earned him a customer for a day, let alone a life.
Scott Fielding, shortcuts lead to pay cuts.
Thanks, Scott. That's true.
David Simon, buzzards. That's a good one.
It was the buzzer dance. They were just all going over, and we called it the buzzer
Scott
dance.
Fielding, yes, let's go. I'm ready, Rick.
Oh, and by the way, too, my husband and I also, when the salesperson walks away and they go to do the buzzer dance,
Right.
we say, okay, good cop, bad cop. I'm always got to be the bad cop. So,
Knowing your husband, I find that backwards. I thought he'd be the bad cop.
No.
Do you ever let him play the bad cop?
I always ask him, but he always chickens out. He's too soft.
Cameron Moore, I'm proud of you for doing a live video because this is your first live.
This is my first live. Thank you, Cameron.
You
I
did go
appreciate your
live with
comments.
Anthony, but this is your first live by yourself.
Well, that was Anthony's live. I was sitting where Nicole was sitting when I did that live with Anthony. So that doesn't count. This is my first live, and thank you for being my first guest on my first
Of course,
on the first
absolutely.
live. This was terrific. I hope that this opens some eyes for some people out there. I know that the group that I'm in, I keep telling you about the sales hustlers, that we're
Yes.
trying to change the perception of car salespeople. The stigma that's around us is horrible. And I got into business over 30 years ago, as you know. And I remember the conversation I had with my mother when I was getting into business, when I told her, that, Mom, I'm going to go sell cars. And she said, oh, no, please, no, don't do that. Anything but sell cars. And I said, why? Because I'm so naive. I don't know. And she said, they have a terrible reputation. It's worse than doctors and lawyers. Who knew they had a bad reputation? I didn't know. So I said, Mom, I'll change it one customer at a time. And I've been doing that for 30 years. And then a year ago, we found sales hustlers.
Oh, great.
And then we're now 8,000 strong, trying to change the way cars are sold. We take care of people. We care about people. And, we have people refer them to us because of the way they're taken care of. And these are 8,000 people across the whole country. So there doesn't seem to be too many of us here in Florida.
No, we need
Scott's here in Florida.
Okay.
I'm here in Florida, but I'm not at a dealership.
Correct.
But we'll take you to somebody that's in a dealership, and we'll help you.
Great.
We'll make sure that you don't, and we'll make sure you don't spend 5 or 8 hours at a dealership.
Yes, yes.
And if you guys are having trouble with time, watch the second video that I did on customer pain points, right? The first one was on they don't want to be here, right? She's already telling you she doesn't want to go to a dealership. I mean, this is perfect, right? And then the second thing is it takes too long. She's prepared to spend 5 or 8 hours at a dealership. Come on, it doesn't have to take 5 or 8 hours. It's not rocket science. And the third thing is the price. I've done 3 videos in the last 2 weeks on this. So go back and look at them, guys, and see the customer pain points. And here's a live customer telling you that she doesn't want to come to the dealership. She doesn't want to spend all day there, and she wants a price. She wants it up front, and she wants it to be fair.
Correct.
And leave a little room for her to negotiate. She wants to negotiate.
I want the undercoating.
And you want it for free, right?
Yes, of
Absolutely.
course. Absolutely.
And you should have it for free.
Right, and I want the free furry dice or something.
We still do the furry dice. Now we give you a little magnet or something to put in a gas tank, or the name of the dealership on the back, or we give you a key ring, or
I want a coffee mug.
you should have a coffee
There you
mug. We had a sales hustler last week sold a car because of a hat. There was a gentleman at a Toyota dealership, and the salesman said, what do I have to do to sell you this car? After all this, I spent all this time, and you liked it? You liked the price? And the guy says, I want a hat. He went back to the parts department, got him a hat, and the guy bought the truck.
Awesome.
Right? So you want a coffee mug. So Scott, if you're the one, make sure you have a coffee mug for her.
There you go.
Any other comments?
No, that's all.
Okay.
That's all.
Everybody, thank you very much for watching. Nicole, I can't thank you enough for sharing.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Oh, you're welcome. Thanks for sharing your tales of woe and your mishaps at a car dealership.
I'm optimistic. There's something out there for me.
I'm always optimistic too, and positive, and I guarantee you there's something out there for you. You will love your next car, and I'm going to be involved, and you're going to love your next experience, because my motto is that I create world-class customer experiences at your dealership, and that's what I'm going to do for you. I'm going to create a world-class dealership. We're going to find somebody out there in Sales Hustlers Nation who wants to sell you a car and will take care of you.
Awesome.
I promise.
Awesome.
All right. Okay.
Bye.
Bye, everybody. Thanks for watching.